All right, we're going to start on Chapter 10 in our Revit 191 class, University of Montana Fall 2021. We're going to be in Chapter 10, Stairs, Ramps, and Railings. This, for sure, is the hardest chapter I've seen so far and have done. It's the longest as well at 70 pages, so I might skip some parts. If I make some slight errors, I potentially will continue moving on so we can get the gist of the chapter. I would say from page 485 to 525 is the gist of what we should be learning from this chapter, and page 525 to 555 is getting to be a lot more advanced topics. So if you get to 525, you've covered the majority of this lab, and the rest is really just gravy and bonus, and we'll talk about that. But for now, let's start with the chapter 10 files. And this one's a little different. We're going to have several basically not Revit files. Well, they are Revit files, but family files. So download everything in here. You're going to see everything in here. We have our main file, our project file, NER10. That's what we're going to use for this chapter. But we have several other family files. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 other ones. There is potentially one more. I'm checking here. Let's download it. It should be a file we found at a later time called 6210 with some other stuff on it. Let's see what I just downloaded. It is not in there at this time. Let's see here. Here it is right here. So make sure you have this file. I'll add it to the families on the chapter, but this is one that was, here are the other family files. This one's one I just found that the book asked us to add, but it didn't have in the downloads of the book. So let me know if you can't find this file. It's partly towards the end of the chapter for Railings. So let's begin with starting by opening NER10 and just going from there. This chapter, we're going to learn how to make a few different types of stairs, just basic ones using the rise run function. We're going to create a more custom winding staircase in this area using some geometry and some model lines, detail lines, and then making the rise and run after that. So making a more winding staircase. Next, we're going to create custom stairs and custom railing systems. And this is where the chapter starts to get fairly complex. And what that means is I'm going to go through it in completion, but there's going to be parts that I'm going to go through kind of fast, and also a lot of settings to set in before you make your custom rails and stairs. And there's a lot of spots where you could potentially miss one thing and it doesn't come out perfectly right. For example, when I get to page 535 to 537, I get really close to making the stairs perfectly as the book says, but there's one little thing missing that they don't quite hit the top rail. By that time we get to that part of the chapter 537 page, we'll probably just continue on. You'll get the gist of what I just did, and we'll see how it goes. So the first thing we're going to start with is we're going to go to level 2 floor plan. And we're going to zoom into the east wing. We're going to make some stairs over here. And they're going to be a more general rise and run with landings. We're going to customize some landings. So we're going to start by going to the visual style in here. And we're going to go to hidden line on the view control bar, excuse me. And after that, we're going to start by going right into the stair command immediately here. So let's look at our options. Stair command has a different workflow to it. There's a few little steps. You generally make your boundaries and your runs first, and there's some different settings than we're used to seeing. So we're essentially in sketch mode right now, as you can see by the finish item mode and cancel. And these are going to get pretty typical. We got our run and landing and boundary. We're going to see a different few options as we go through this, depending on what we pick. This is the straight stair run. We possibly will be using this probably the most in this learning of this class, but we're going to get a little more advanced in that in this chapter. So Let's start by saying we're on the Modify Create Stair tab. Let's make sure the Run button is selected, which it is right here. And the options, let's say location, exterior support, left, and the offset to 6 inches, -6 inches. Let's see if this takes, put it in verbatim like that. Properties, we're going to get the base level to level 1. And the top level to level 2. No offset. We're going to change this in a later part of the book. Looks like that's it. The desired number of risers or steps. This is the tread depth, how deep your foot goes into the stair. And this is where we're going to start at, the first step. So by setting the base level to level 1 and the top to level 2, basically here, you give Revit the dimensions it needs to calculate the rise of the stairs essentially in between. So at this point, we're just going to accept that as it is. Later, we'll create a multi-level staircase that it's from this one we're creating now, and we're going to bring it to different levels. So we're going to start by doing this first level, basically, is what we got going on here. So on page 488, we're going to pick a point in the center of this column after we didn't leave our command. And we're going to go this way. You see the risers being created and remaining, and that faded text to the lower left there. Mind that. And the second option, we're just going to watch how many stairs get created. We're going to hover, and when this stair gets created at 9 feet 2 inches, you can see in the blue dimension up in here, we're going to stop. We're going to pick the left click. We're going to move straight up cursor to the north right here. Take our third pick. And we got it going on this side, our offset. We're building it about the left's exterior support still. Let's see where we pick the fourth point. It says on the bottom of page 489, moving our cursor to the left until it's past the actual run. So it's saying, you could click here, but it's saying just bring it out past this. It's already got, see, we have a 1 and 11, a 1 here and 11. That's saying how many stairs. We only set up to 21. So at this point, it's created 21, 11 plus 10. It won't make any more because we said that here. Desired number of risers. So we can drag it all the way out here. It won't make any extras, is what we're saying. We can drag it here. Here would create less. Here would be maxed out. Here would be maxed out. So it's just saying drag it out here and we're good. It shows the number of stairs that was created. So we're good there. It's looking good. We will continue by modifying some boundaries to these stairs we just made. At this point, we're going to make the landing a little bit bigger and oval shaped on page 490 and 491. So let's start that. The main part's laid out. Let's select the landing. And I have the face command turned on. Let's see what happens. It's turned off. It doesn't pick it as well. Remember on floors, it's helpful to have the face, select elements by face on for this one. I picked the landing. And in this case, this is a new command. I'm going to go to the convert button here. Convert to sketch base, common runner landing. It's a custom component that we're going to sketch its capability inside of it. So we said that. Yes, it's saying convert to custom. We're going to say close. We got our sketch now ready. We dismiss that warning basically. Say edit sketch, got our green and closed line. We're going to draw start and radius arc. And in this case, you can go over to page 492 if you really want to see a picture of what I'm about to do. I'll do it for myself just to see exactly where I want to go. So let me get my start point, end point here. See my endpoint snap, the square. We're gonna go out here and let's see what radius do they want again. They want a 12-foot radius, so not just any radius. Let's say 12 feet, enter. And in this case, we gotta end our sketch mode as always, checking if we have any gaps, overlaps, or duplicate sketch lines. And there's one little step here they don't exactly say perfectly. We're gonna go and hit escape twice. We're back to the selector, modify here. That's what happens when we hit escape twice, right? And it wants us to select the line. It isn't very precise in what it says, but this is the line I've selected right here. And I'm going to delete it with the delete key. We're ready to finish the sketch. Should be good. No gaps, overlaps, or duplicate lines, right? Okay. Finish edit mode. That's created. The completed boundary. And we're good. We're good on this step to 493. We're going to start configuring some railings now, and I'm going to do my best to stay on the right level for this one. It's easy to go on the wrong levels on this. So just to make sure on that, I started this whole thing, this first stairwell on the level 2 floor plan. Remember that, right? Okay. As I made it go from level 1 and finish up into level 2. So some of this gets a little confusing as you're making stairs, some of these winding stairs between multiple levels. So we got a bunch of default railing systems, and here's our railing systems. If I hit escape once, click our rails, we're going to start getting into that. So I'm going to click on this part. I was having a little trouble actually getting to the railing mode, but since I never left my modify create stair, this is the railing mode here. If you leave this, I was having a little trouble getting back to this. Once I leave this sketch mode, it's still kind of in a sketch mode here, not fully. It's in the stair creation mode. So it looks like a sketch mode. Everything's faded back, but the stairs. This is where they want you to go, the railing. You're saying what type of railing to still do. It's easiest to get the railing right now in this phase. Otherwise, going back, I was having a lot of trouble getting this icon to show up and be available if I had to do undo and go back. So keep in mind of that. If you miss it, continue to move on through the chapter. It's not the end of the world. This has a little bit more of an advanced flow to it. So what we're going to pick is handrail pipe, and we're going to position them about the treads of the stairs. Hit OK. That's been selected. So we haven't hit finish edit mode yet on the entire thing. And we are about to. I'm looking for any steps I missed. I don't think I did. Let's hit finish. The rail is not continuous. Okay, we're going to ignore that for now. Let's go to level 2, which I'm on, and take a look at the picture on 10.13, figure 10.13. So they got the same warning too, the rail warning. It says rails not continuous that I just saw. They just said to close that. That's okay. We're going to go into it later. There's a lot of little warnings like that you'll see in this chapter, and they can be frustrating. Some of them don't matter that much. Some do, which we'll find out later. This is what it should look like. We're all good here. So we have a problem where the down arrow text is, which is right here. Let's see what it says about that. We don't want this gap. It's basically saying we're going to move the entire stairs. Basically, they did that intentionally to say we put them in the wrong spot. So I'm just going to select the stairs. You can tell you selected them somewhere on the face here. and make sure you have them selected. Always check your properties, check down here, see what you have selected. It's easy to not select the stairs, and let's hit move. Let's pick an endpoint here, and let's just move them to the face of the floor edge right here. On the second pick, escape. That's it on that. So we're going to start editing the railings now. We're going to modify them in certain areas, and then we'll have to change them on certain levels. But let's see what we have to do on that. So we're on level 2, but we'll start with getting this to other levels, the stair, basically stair assembly we just made. I'm going to select them again. I selected the railing there, so this is me selecting the railing. Let me hit escape. I don't want that. I want the entire stair assembly. There we go. So selecting in here and this landing kind of gets the rails. Let's select in the tread area here. And we're going to do copy to clipboard and onto page 496. We're going to paste, which we've done several times before, align to selected levels. And for now, we're just going to do, looks like just level 3. I thought we were going to do 4, 5, and 6, but let's just do level 3. And we'll hit OK. Let's close this error. Let's go to level 3. Let's check our stairs out. It says cut a section. Just on level 3. Let's do that. Like the picture on 497. So you can go up here, or we can go to view section. We'll do a building section, and we'll cut it from here to here. Let's click it. Let's rename it over here. Easier for me than going in the, make sure it's picked. I got to pick the stem. There we go. I was picking the bubble and it didn't take it up in properties. You want to check to make sure it's selected here in properties. That's the section view. Let's change its name here to section at stairs. Hit OK, apply. This is a little bit of an odd step, but let's go to this section view we just made. Oop, don't know what happened there. Hit escape, click the bubble. So we have our 2 stairwells in this section view, and we're going to kind of link them in a way here. It's essentially what we're about to do. So we have that section view, which we're in it right now. It says to select the stair, which is right here on level 3, not the railing, the stair. And this is a new command. We're going to do the select levels. Uses a current stair generate a continuous multi-story stair on selected levels. So we're going to select that. These 2 have blanked out because we haven't brought them to there yet. And all we're going to do is we're going to hold the control key down and pick 1, the first one level 4, and the second one level 5. So hold the control key down, and we'll hit the finish edit mode. They all go together. We have 4 now. Similar picture on 499. So let's hover over stairs, these 4 to 5 here. There we go. You want it to look like this, not like this with anything else. You got to almost hover over one of the stairs in 4, 5, or 3, 3, 4, 5, just like so. So you see that outer highlighted dash line, okay? That's the key. Notice that box, that dash box. When you see that box, pick the stairs. And hold the control key. And now, while you're holding the control key, select the stairs here. And here we go. I almost missed this. This is a new command as well. Very easy to miss. And then hit selection box. That didn't quite do it. Let's try this again. Click on these. We connect a level. Hit connect level. Hit OK. There we go. So I had these selected. Now they're all connected. You're going to want to see them with a dash line between all of them. You can see it on the other outside here. I can unconnect them again. Say disconnect level 1, finish edit. Now they're disconnected. Let me select the 4 connected stairs again. Let's do do what I already did just to show you one more time. Connect. I'm going to say connect the levels here. I'm going to pick level 1. I'm going to hit finish edit mode. Now they're connected. A little bit of a tricky step. Now also, we're going to go to a new view on the selection view box. That brings us, basically, it's a selection box, isolates the current elements of the current view quickly. In this case, it's these stairs. They're all connected. So basically, that overtook our 3D view, which is kind of weird. Now, if you go to, whatever 3D view 1, which is our old, this is an office space. It's not named as accurate as it should be. So this overtook our 3D view, our standard 3D view we go to here or here. It's now this new command we learned on page 499, selection box button, brought us to here, okay? I'm gonna hold shift and center mouse and just hover around. I might be able to pull the bounding of this box out on the faces. It's like a big cube basically. So you can pull different directions to see more inside of this view. It's like a big cube with different faces to pull it up and down. But keep in mind, you're saving the view when you do this. And it will default back to what we're seeing now the next time you enter it. So there we go with that. We're going to rename this view because we'll probably come back to it, I think, at least one more time. Entry stairs here. So let's save our model at this point. Let's close a couple of these views. Let's close the section we just made for now. So if we go back to our 3D view like this, it'll take us back to the default one. So this recreated it in a way, but this one still remains. So in a way, we did away with our 3D view. So I kind of want to create a new one. But for now, let's just turn this to fine and realistic. This becomes our new 3D view. And we'll just let it be such as that for now. It's just not in here anymore, which is kind of weird. There's a way you could remake one by duplicating this. You could potentially show it somewhere else, which is right here. Okay, it's also shown right here. So this continues down here. Well, whereas our entry stairs view overtook the previous default 3D view. So the 3D view I just made back again, you can find it down here. That's where it is in the project browser. We answered that question. We were struggling with that a little bit ago. So let's close that. That explains a lot on that. We're going to go back to level 2 here. And let's zoom into this area. And we're going to go to the architectural tab and create a reference plane. We're going to create it in one little spot here. We'll pick lines. We'll do an offset, I believe, of 1.5 feet. 1 space 6 for 1.5 feet, 1 feet 6 inches. We'll make it go that direction to the left. And we're going to extend the railings. Keep in mind, we're on level 2. I accidentally did this in level 1 earlier. So think about it this way. Let's open our view back up for 3D. We're right here, creating it right here. We're making a railing here so people don't fall off. We're going to copy it up to here, here, in level 5. Here's the roof. I accidentally at times made it down here, which isn't a big deal, but we don't really need it down here in level 1. So easy to get lost between the levels on these. Just keep in mind. Let's even turn some of them off for now. We're on level 2. And on the picture on 503, we're going to select the railing. This is what it'll look like. Hover on it. It'll say what railing, what type it is, handrail pipe. There's a few ways to get to this. So once we select this, our contextual prompts, if certain things come up, edit path is what we want here. It's a new one, modify railings, edit path, a new command for us. And we have our typical drafting commands, and we can draw reference planes in sketch mode. Remember, when you leave sketch mode, your reference planes will disappear, but they only stay in your sketch, which is nice to know. For now, we're going to basically just sketch a little extra railing out and around. I'm going to see if I can do this a little more expedited than following the million steps upcoming. So let me get my bearings here. Options, preview. So we got to turn this on. That's new. So it's kind of showing what's going on. See there? Turn it on and off. That's showing where the railing will be. So let's zoom in. The magenta line's the key though, to where the railing's going to end up. We'll pick the magenta line and bring it over to the reference plane with a grip, just like that. Our preview lets us see it. And we're going to continue on by just, for now, hitting finished. Our railing just goes out a little ways right here is all. And it did it everywhere. So partly, I think what I possibly didn't want to do is I connected all of these. So if I go back to the section view, let me select these again. Let me hit disconnect. Disconnect level 1. Hit OK. That's probably what did me in last time, is it did my edits to level 1 when I didn't want it to. Anyway, back to the railing. We can continue drafting it. On this side, we'll select this railing, edit path, select the magenta, drag it over. Hit okay, we're going to further edit them. Just kind of curious what's happening here. Okay, now it's not happening at level 1. That's good. I don't want it to. Right. Easy enough to do. When I was in this section view originally, showing how to link these up with this one was a mistake. This way, when I edit the railings of these three, it doesn't affect the railings of this one the same. Okay. Go back to this. We're going to edit more of the railing by selecting it. We'll hit edit path again. Pick the line button. We'll draft from here and point object snap down to the wall. Good enough. Could even bring it to the facade, like so. We're going to do a new type of command we haven't done much, fillet arc right here. Let's check this for radius is 3 inches. Sure, it looks like that. Select. Make sure you do this first. Otherwise it won't work quite right. We've got that made. We'll accept, finish edit mode. In a railing, let me check it in 3D view again. There we go. It's doing it to levels 2, 3, 4, and there's none on 5 yet. Maybe there should be. Let's check that quick. I think we're good there. Okay, we got this railing made on level 2 floor plan. We're going to continue on with this railing. Here, select it. Edit path again. Magenta comes up, our preview's on. I'm going to draw with line to grid line C, which is right here. Let's draw it from here up to here. I'll zoom out so you can see it. Grid line C to the right. Hit escape. Let's do the fillet again. Fillet arc. Make sure radius is selected. Pick 1, pick 2. There we go. Hit escape. Let's finish this. It's good for now. Check it in 3D again if you want. I like to, because especially the first time going through this, I'm rotating it around. See what we're doing here. Zoom in a little bit and rotate down. We've made the rails on all these upper levels here. Keep in mind, you can move this box out to extend this, the cube of this view, the limit box, if you need to. I had to do it a little bit before. So we can see my railings I've made here and here. Go to all these levels. Okay. Level 2 again. So I'm going to right click a rail similar to other things and say create similar. And let's see what else they want here. This upper rail area wants us to finish out this spot right here, connect from here to here basically. Let's start by going endpoint. Right there, get this to hover and show as they show in 507 really surgically. Bring it up. We don't have to get it exact. We can trim and stuff later. So let's just go like this. Let's go over here to midpoint. Zoom out a little so you can see again. Right there. Let's bring it over. Let's go way past it. Left click, hit escape again. Let's go to the trim command, trim or extend. Pick what we want to keep. Pick. Second pick. Let's make a fillet arc. Let's make sure its radius is 3 inches. Click on this and check that. Should be good because you already have it done. Pick here, pick here. Okay. A lot of railings are good to do one at a time like this. Not always continuously. The way the book's doing these is a pretty good method. That one's done. So we also drew this. We could have mirrored it, which we're about to do here. Let's hit done. We're going to mirror this one. So let's see what it says. I don't know if this is going to work the way they want it to. Yeah, no. So this one, let's select this one. We just modeled it. This is what they really wanted. Yeah, now I got it. Select this. Mirror, pick access. Now, when we make the mirror, we could totally just mirror it with the 2-point mirror. Instead of picking an axis, we could let me pick this as my axis though. That works because it's symmetrical, evenly mirrors. You could have drawn in one 2-point mirror line, but we didn't need to because we had this line to select here. So we got that. We select it, edit path, in sketch mode. Let's get the grips going. We'll zoom in a little. Grip this up, holding it, selecting it to the facade. We're good. We'll hit the green checkbox, finish edit mode. That railing is created. Let's double check back into our stairs. And I guess since I linked them, those ones aren't linked. They weren't part of this. This was an entire railing all in one piece here. So this all went up. This one went up. These ones have not been translated. The ones we just made here to level 4 and 5 here. So let's do that by going level 2. Or in this case, they wanted to stay in 3D mode, so we just made these 2. Let's copy those to clipboard and let's paste line to select levels. We'll go 3, 4, and 5. Hit Control or Shift, hold Shift and get all of them one left click. Hit OK. Got those pasted all the way up and down. We could do this one as well. That one wasn't. We could copy this one to clipboard and paste to levels 3, 4, and 5. Hit OK. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to get past this area. This is good enough for now, teaching us how to do railings and landings and multi-level stairs. It works good if you can get it to go on the first go around. Going back and editing them is kind of a pain. They're not that easy. That's why they're a little later in the book. Keeping the railings and the landings and everything separate is a little difficult. So we'll stop with that. We're going to go to page 409, or excuse me, 509, and create a winding staircase. We're going to stay in level 2 floor plan, and we're going to go to this area, corridor over here, right here. And we're going to build a winding staircase. This one has a few steps. We're going to have to do a lot of manual drafting to get it to work exactly how we want to, but it's kind of neat how they do this. In my opinion, it has some difficulty, but bear with. And all right, we'll start on figure 10.34. We're going to make a landing, and we're going to make that with, it looks like detail lines. Or we're going to make a floor. Okay, yeah, we are. So select the actual floor of level 2. Kind of confusing step on number 3. It does get a little detail. It says, select the actual floor. So we're going to have to edit the boundary of this floor. We're going to make it extend out here. So level 2, we're up a level. We're making a little patio landing above ground. We're going to edit the boundary. We're in the modify floors edit boundary area now. And we're going to sketch an 8-foot landing similar to the picture on 510, 8 feet by 8 feet, centered about the doorway here, soon to be doorway. And let's start sketching. So let me see where we were going to pick. It looks like it is approximately right here. Centering on the reference plane. So we could do this. Let's say 4 feet about the reference plane, just so we can be exact. Yeah, let's do that. So I don't pick in the wrong spot on the column. So I put my offset. I have the regular line command here, and I pick offset of 4, hovered around the middle of my building, the reference plane right here. So let's say 8 feet, okay? We'll check that later. Let's do the same up here. It's not to the exact size yet. Let's do a measurement here, here. So it's 9 feet. Let's do a trim. Oh, we don't want to cut that much out. Let's do a split element. Let's delete inner segment. And we'll say here, here, cut out that middle area, right? Let's use our grips on this. Use my temporary dimension, select it, say 8 feet. There we go. So I edited this one instead. I did that. We draw a line here. And that's going to be 8 feet. It's all centered 4 feet on each side of the reference plane. So however you got to do, you don't have to do exactly what I did. I split this area in here because we got to make this boundary. There can be no gaps here, or there can be no extra lines in here. So we have to have this area gone, cut out in the middle. I use the split command. It worked good for me there. If you want, you could add some dimensions just to make sure your line dimensions. You can even add it here to here. This is what it should look like. This floor goes to the core of the wall because it's on the on level 2. So it should be 8 feet from that core wall. 4 feet here, 4 feet here, 4 feet on each side. So let's delete these dimensions. I was just first showing you. Let's finish edit. And yeah, let's say yes to this. You want to attach the walls to the bottom of the floor. Let's go back to level 1 floor plan. Let's bring this door, selecting it. Let's just select the door in the tag. Why not? And let's go to copy. Oops. Select the door in the tag. Copy to clipboard. Let's go paste to selected views in this case. Level 2. Since I grabbed the tag, I think I had to do selected views. Okay, it automatically updated the tag to the next available alpha. Let me select this. Let's flip it to inside so the door isn't knocking people off. It opens in the appropriate way. This is our landing. I'll make a camera view right now. We're going to make one later. I'll just make one right now to show you what we're doing. View, camera. Push out here. Fine and realistic for you. Let's make this view get a little bigger. So here we go. We're going to be making a stairway, winding stairway up to there. We'll rename that view later on, or we could do it now. It's going to basically be called East Entry from Corridor. So let's just name it now. It comes later, really. It's in 3D views, has the default name. East Entry from Corridor. I skipped a couple steps, but you will do that one later. So let's back to level 2. Now we got some drafting to do. So since we grabbed the tag, I had to paste by selected views. If I only grabbed the door, I'm pretty certain I could have pasted by selected levels. So if I say this, copy to clipboard, only the door, now I can paste to selected levels. So once I grabbed a certain thing like the tag, it didn't allow me to do this one. I had to do the view I was in, so, or current view. Anyway, moving on. We're going to go to the Annotate tab and do detail lines to draft in these stairs. We're going to start with a start end radius arc. And we're going to get the midpoint of the landing right here, like so, with the triangle indicating that. Pick it. Now watch your degrees there. We want that at 135 degrees, which I have right now, still now, and we want it to go at 11 feet. So I have it there, or you can type in 11 feet, enter. And now for the radius, it's kind of confusing what they say. They just want it to go out here. So it's 90 degrees. It'll lock in. You'll see your hash lines. If you went this way, it'd be the same deal. It's going to be a really odd dimension radius, but that's okay. That's what we want. We want to lock in at tangent to the landing, or 90 degrees to the landing. That's what tangent means. Left click. We'll hit escape. We'll go back to the draw icon. We'll pick lines. We're going to do offset of 1 foot 6 inches. Enter. We'll put it on one of each sides. There, there. Escape. Keep in the sketch place detail lines mode. Sketching like AutoCAD a lot more now. Line picked. Let's go offset back to 0. Enter. Pick the 3.9. Let's see where they want it. Okay, let's start by doing this line. 0.1. Here's our second point, the end point of the arc. You can see by this square object snap. Okay. We're going to hit escape. Escape one time. Hit array. Let's hit escape again. Let's hit array. Where's my options? Okay, so I had to have the object selected. I accidentally hit escape twice. If you do hit array first, then pick the object, which is this that we're going to array. Hit enter. Or you can have the object pre-selected, which I probably recommend, and then hit array. Be a little confusing getting this command. Either way, you want to see all these options here. These array options, which are going to be going into page 515 of your book. Quite a few steps here. We're going to do radial array right here. Make sure this group and associates on. We're going to do 21 steps. Make sure this is radio buttons on. Lastly, we're going to center rotation. We're going to say place. Let's see if I can get this on the first try. We're going to do snap center, SC type. We're going to make sure that this shows this little center button right here. You can hover over here, or you can hover on the arc. It'll find it too. Hit there. Now, it's asking right here, if you watch, as I hover back into the view area, it says click to enter, rotate, start ray, or drag. So we're going to enter the start point as, and the book's very weird at describing this on page 516. We're going to pick the midpoint of this small line, which is also this end point of the arc. We could have deleted this arc out already. We probably should have done that. Didn't really tell us to do that either. We'll do that later. Delete out this line or arc. Anyway, let's start by picking this. It's our first axis of rotation. And then this is the really confusing part of the book. It doesn't say it very well. Hover 7 degrees until you see 7 degrees in the blue there. See my degrees change? It says hover 7 degrees right here. Left click again. It finishes our array. All 21 stack up. So the hardest part, you had to get the origin point of the array right here, the center, type in SC, find that second pick right here as your baseline, and then 7 degrees. We're going to hit escape. We'll go to the trim command or extend, really. We'll say, this is what we want to extend to. This is what we extend. Same with this one. I think it'll go. No, it did not. We'll hit save. Let's give it a second. Trim and extend again. I want to extend to this. This is what I want to extend. Oops. There we go. Let's delete this line. Book doesn't really say much about that. We don't really need it as far as I can remember. It's gone. We're going to start modeling the stairs now. We have it drawn, basically, our geometry of the winding staircase. Hopefully I did it right. This one was a tough one the first time. It was easy to screw up one little step and it wouldn't fully draw the stairs in correctly, and or you'll see when I mirror them. Architecture tab. Stair. And we're going to start setting up the base levels. Base level 1 for the stair. Top level, base level 2. No base offset. We're going to use that later, but not right now. We're going to say edit type. Let's see. We're going to start with this assembled stair. 7-inch max riser. That's the stair vertical. 11 inches the tread, how deep it goes. Say edit type. Done this a bunch. So duplicate. Core, door, entry, stairs. Okay. Let's check our options. Construction category, click the cell right of run type. Okay, we're gonna go here, look for the 2-inch tread, 1-inch nosing, 1/4-inch riser, hit the ... ellipsis. Make sure we're in here. This is on the bottom of page 517. This is where you want to be. Yeah, just double checking on that. Let's check my options here. The corridor entry stairs. We're going to have this carriage open. Carriage 2-inch width, that looks good. We're going to have the left support, say carriage open. Carriage width. This all looks good. Right support type. With a ... I'm going to change this. You can type in mahogany. It'll find it. You just have to type it right. If you don't, it won't. It'll say not exist, not existent. You can also go in here, double click it. Hit OK. Bear with me for a little bit. This is a lot of steps. Let me check the left support type. Okay, that's mahogany too. We change that. Okay, we're done with this. Took a minute. Customize the stair railings and steps basically. We're going to add the stairs to the model now. So there's a few things that we got to set here. We're going to keep the run on. Creates a run of stairs, but we're going to create a sketch. First, we're going to set the boundary. This is very important, easy to make a mistake on this one. We're going to do the pick line command. We're only going to pick the outer 2 arcs, this one and this one. Only pick these 2. Really easy to mess that up. It'll kind of create some problems later if you don't do it that way. Now, we're still in the draw panel. We're ready to pick our risers. This was also another really confusing command. The book gets through it, but doesn't really necessarily, it's tough without a bunch of pictures, basically. We're going to do pick lines. And we're going to pick all the lines we arrayed, every one of them, all 21, I believe, including this one. And if I hit the tab button, this one. So let's start with the ones on the left, go one at a time. We're picking all of them. Now this one we hover on, you can hit tab to pick between different items. See how it cycles through a bunch of different things? Cycle with the tab button, hovering over it until you get to this one, this detail line. Left click it. We have them all. Next thing, we pick the stair path button, another new thing. These are all new commands for us here. Now hit stair path. You hover in here, it'll find the center, the invisible center here. We still need to have the pick line command. I almost forgot that. And pick that. Let's hit finish edit mode. You should have something that looks like this if you did it successfully with no errors. If you did, go back, rewind the video, check all the options I did, how I made everything, what I picked between the boundary, the risers, and then the stair path. Those three in a row. Check those very closely. You should have something that looks like this. So at this point, it wants us to click the railing button, which is new. We did it on the last stairs. This is a critical one to do in this order. Hit railing. We're going to say what railing we want at this time. Handrail pipe, which we already had. And the treads is the same as we did on the last stairs. We'll say that's okay. It's adding the railing. Can't really see it yet. So hit finish sketch. And now they're on there. Okay, so now you're making this 3D view. Bear with it. Follow the instructions in the book if you want. I already made it by going to view, 3D view camera. I made the view on level 1, looking at the stairs, going this way, selecting it. Since I already made it, you click, edit the boundaries of it. So you can see the stair I made and the railing. You can rotate around with holding shift and center mouse. Change your grips if you need to on the outside of this camera view. Check your work, basically. So we'll go back to level 2. Made the camera view, cool. We're going to mirror them now. So if you made them correctly, this will work. If you didn't, if everything's not correct and how it links up here, this next command is not going to work well. It's happened to me my first attempt. We'll hit the stairs. Remember to click the stairs by clicking on the treads here. We're going to mirror them about an axis. We're going to pick our handy center of the building axis once again, right here. It'll think for a minute. Hopefully this works this time. And it mirrors them over here. The exact same stairs, tread, and railing that we did on the other side. This is your end goal for these winding custom-made stairs with detail lines, is to look like this up to level 2 in the corridor. So that pretty much concludes most of this. We're going to do some more railing edit stuff though in this area, so it's not quite over yet. We'll go back to level 2. And we're going to make some railings around. This is kind of a new command. We're going to architecture now, railing. We've done this before, but we haven't entered through this direction. We've only done click a railing, right click, create similar is another way to get to it, right? We're going to go the starter way, architecture the other way, railing. And we're going to pick the type, handrail pipe. We're going to draw it with the pick lines icon. We're going to draw it with an offset of 4 inches to the inside of the railing, like so. Basically it goes to the inside like this. Picked all 3 there. Let's see what it has on figure 9.2. So we're going to create one railing like this. Let's hit escape so we're off of the pick line command. We're going to draft a line now. We're going to make one railing over here, then we're going to make them over here. We'll see what that means in a minute. Endpoint, draft it here, hit escape. Let's draw another line, still selected. Here, north. Let's trim, pick what we want to keep. Pick what we want to keep again, 1, 2, escape. So we're not doing any fillets. You could do some fillets if you wanted to. It doesn't really want us to, but basically in this case, the key is we're going to create one railing at a time, which we're doing here. If you try to do more than one continuous line, Revit's going to stop you. So we got one continuous line going here. We can't make a broken one with a little rail here and a little rail here. That would be one line here, one line here, one line here. We can only do one at a time. So we got to do that. Let's finish this one. You can look at what I did here in my 3D camera view. There it is. It's still selected. Okay. Let's go back to level 2. Let's make another one. In this case, we could go to railing here, or we could click this railing I just made and make the same exact type, create similar. Let's start drafting these ones. We could start by actually doing pick line. Let's get the same offset. Pick line, 4 inch. Let's offset this for our guide. And we still got to do these twice. Oops. So what I mean by that is we got to draft one up here, and we got to draft one down here, or we can make one up here and mirror it to this side, like we did just a little bit ago on the east side. Oh, let's turn off my offsets to 0. Draft this one like so. Trim it. What you want to keep. There we go. Let's hit yes, finished. Now let's pick this one. Actually, I forgot to do one thing. Let's go back inside of that rail, edit path, which you can do easily here. Let's drag this magenta line to the face of the brick of the building, which I forgot to do. There we go. Let's pick that. We want the exact same thing over here. So let's pick that and say mirror about a pick access. Here's our access. Done. Zoom out a little on floor plan level 2. Let's look at it in our camera view again. It's looking good. There we go. That's the completed railing. We're going to start by going to even more custom railing system. This is where the chapter starts to get pretty challenging. So if you make it up to this point, I consider you about good on this lab, but this is going to be more advanced stuff coming up, and I've even struggling with getting all the settings perfectly right. So let's continue on to page 526 and 527. We're going to go to the level 3 floor plan this time. Let's close a couple of these for now. Stick to level 3. Let's change it to fine. I think I already had mine set to fine. We're going to be concentrating on making a floor over here at level 3, and we're going to make a stairwell up to it right here. So the end result, I'll show you in a second, it's going to look something like this. And the main goal is just to kind of get you the guidelines to do this. There's a lot of advanced settings. So here it is in floor plan level 1. Let's go to make a camera view. We're making stairs up to a new little floor in the 3rd level. We're making a floor up here in this big atrium area. And we're making a complex custom stair with custom wood railings and a custom landing here even that have 1, 2, 3 different landings before they come up here. Now the hardest part, especially for me, was to get the landings to work exactly right. You have to change just a slew of settings. I was getting it very close. I was having trouble getting this last stair to connect just right. So my stairs, I was wanting 41 of them with landings in between, and it wasn't quite getting 41. So let's see if we can bumble through that. But this is the end result, what it will look like in 3D. This is what it'll look like in top view from level 3 as it goes up to this new floor. So let's start on it. First, we're going to have to load up some stuff in a minute from those custom families we had. But we're going to make the floor first. So we'll go to Architecture tab, Floor, Architectural. And in the properties, we're going to make a new one. We're going to grab the generic filled, 12-inch filled, or excuse me, 4-inch concrete on 2-inch terrazzo. And we are going to use that. Okay. We're going to hit OK on that. It doesn't look like we got to change anything. Thank God. We're going to do the pick walls. Pick this wall. Or make sure it goes to the core of the wall. Since we're up from the main floor, we want these floors to go into the core of the wall, the structural core. So that's where it should be. See the magenta line there. Pick this wall. It'll match into it with it. The first one's key though. And for this last wall, let's select offset 5 feet. Or it says to pick line. Let's hover in here. And we pick the core of the wall, do 5 feet. Pick the core of the wall here. Make sure I get this right. This is maybe where my stairs, why they weren't linking up right the first time I did this. This is core center line on this one. Okay, this one is to the core of this interior wall. Let's go back to adding, I forgot one wall, pick wall. Turn off the offset. I should have done this prior, but I missed one. We got this radial wall. There we go. Now let's do some trimming. Trim what we want to keep as always. Good, no gaps. And on this one, let's extend this so we don't have a gap. There's our wall. Now, we have everything trimmed, it's looking good. Remember our wall commands, it's going to ask us a couple questions. In this first one, the floor roof overlaps and the highlighted walls, they said they would like us to join the geometry and cut out volume of the walls. In this case, we're going to say no. And the next options box, if it asks the overlapping volumes, we'd say yes, but it didn't ask us in this case. So we're good. We're about to create a custom railing system now. And we need to upload 5 files. 6 files, actually, RFA files, and there's about 7 total files. You can upload them all right now. Later in the book, they're going to come into play. But basically, these are all the files. Right now, we're only going to get 5 of them. We're not going to have to get post up yet and ADA pipe. But it looks like the other 6. So if you want to, just grab all of them. These are the ones we're going to import, and you can do that by going to Insert, Load Family. So we got it in this model for good. I got to go to my C drive where I have them with my class files, not in my default C drive. So I put them with my Chapter 10 labs and stuff. So they're all here. Let's just load all of them to start. It converts them from an older version of Revit, 2016 in one case. Give it a second to think. So we selected all of them and loaded them on page 527. We're going to get down to the dirty of making the custom rails at this point. It gets kind of complex, so we'll do our best here to just go through this at a decent clip without going too fast. So we're going to go down to the project browser, and we have them in our families here. So we have all of our families accessible here as well, what we have loaded into our model as accessible, basically. And we're going to go way down to the railing category. Railing, we got to start with railings and then railing, a little confusing. And then handrail rectangular. Double click it. And we're going to start with this. Yep, I got the right one. We're going to say duplicate. This is going to be our wood railing with spindles. Hit OK. And nothing yet here we're going to do. We're going to hit OK again. In this case, we're going to go to a top rail type. So handrail type, there it is. Let's cascade down the railing. We're going to go to the circular 1 1/2 inch. Double click it. We're going to do the same thing as well. Start with it. We're going to duplicate this family type. This is going to be the one custom 6210 that we're bringing in family. We're going to hit OK. So this is where start with this. Hand clearance. Okay, let's change this first to this 6210 2-58. Next, let's change the transitions to gooseneck, and this will be like the curved railing we're going to put on later. Let's change the material here. Like you said, you can go to the ... here and find it. Mahogany, whatever. Or if you type it in correctly, it will find it. Cherry in this case. If you typed it in wrong, it would not let you. It would say enter a valid material, which is helpful. There, it took it. And we're good on everything else. We're making our new rail type, 6210. Hand clearance. Interesting. That is not the same as it shows in the book. This could have something to do with why things weren't necessarily working. Let's change this. Negative. Let's see if it allows us. Change this value in the hand clearance for now to what it shows in the picture on page 529. There's a lot of little things I think in this upcoming amount of steps that the book might have screwed up to get it exactly right, but just bear with me on this. And I think that's all the options we need to change for this new railing. Hit OK. Okay. Now it wants to go to the railing area, and the wood railing with spindles again. Let's see. And top rail category, okay. And the type row, rectangular 2 by 2 inch. Let's change this. Cancel here. It's interesting. It's not even an option. I'm not even seeing 6210 in here. Maybe it is. It's not here. Let's not worry too much about this. It should be right here, my 6210. But I picked it here, just the same. Let's just do this one more time. I'm literally just changing this type as well. Really a painstaking part of this chapter. I'll say okay to that. Cherry. All my options look like the picture on page 530. I'm just not seeing where it allows me to add the 6210 right up here, as I should be able to. Okay. Possibly when I went into here, let's try one more time. No, it's still not there. Okay. We're all good though. Not quite. Let's go back into wood railing with spindles. Let's check the baluster placement areas. The baluster placement row. I think I got everything prior to that. And on this row, I'm going to change this to spindle 1 inch. I'm going to change this to be checked, that to 2, this to none, this to none, this to none. Hit OK. Let's check the preview. Okay, that's not quite done. We have the 6210 handrail here. Let's also go into the spindle area, spindle 1 inch. Let's edit this material. Change it to cherry as well. I believe that is good. That. We're about to create the custom stairs. There's one area though I want to double check. Span this. We'll accept that. Here's one I might have missed. Circle that in the book. References below bottom reference for one or more balusters. Yeah, basically it's not creating my rail balusters below. I'm just going to continue on. I had this right the first time. Literally, there's about 700 things to edit. I think I had everything. If we want, we could say no to this. We're making a custom railing. We're almost there. It should look more like this. In the end, basically having trouble getting it to come exactly right. 3 feet, 612. Thing looks good there. Thing looks good there. My settings all look the same. Top rail element, host, spindle 1. Anyway, I could pick a different one for my model just to show railings. I said this is pretty advanced stuff. We'll just continue on with a different railing. And we're going to create custom stairs now. The architecture tab, stairs. We're going to start with the cast in place monolithic. And we'll go to edit type. Duplicate this stair. We're going to call it custom bullnose stairs. Hit OK. This is where I have some screenshots that are handy. Open one of those. I'm going to pull these off to the side to check my work. So, okay. On the run type, we're going to check all these. Let's hit cancel on this one. Span these out, these custom stairs. Let's change this. This fixed. Check all these. Default. I think this is supposed to be stair nosing. Yep, not default. There's so many options here. That's why this chapter gets a little ridiculous. Trying to get you through all this. This one's just on default. Nosing profile. Change that. Tread profile. I don't think we changed that. That can go back to default. 3/4 of an inch. Length. Nosing length. We're in the 3/4 inch nosing profile. We're just slowly editing it. That I think can stay the same. Select this. Slanted is unselected. For riser to tread connection, extend riser. They have these way out of order too. Extend riser, extend tread. Extend tread under riser. Switch that. Under treads, make sure treads is selected. Okay, every single step they do in this is auto order. This is so easy to make a mistake. This is auto order now. So change tread material, monolithic material, to mahogany. Riser material to mahogany. Let's double, triple check these again. Painstaking step. Last thing we forgot, once again, out of order. Every single step you do in these about 10 steps is out of order in the book, every single one almost. So you got to kind of go through these one by one. This was one I missed, front, left, and right, applied nosing profile. Terrible instruction area of the book, but it happens. Pretty sure I got everything. I'm going to screenshot this and just save it for myself for later. We'll continue on. Click this in the landing type. We're going to duplicate this. This is going to be called a mahogany landing. Hundreds of settings to do here. This is definitely an extra credit part of the book. Change this to 1 foot. We're going to change the material to mahogany, of course. And we're going to hit OK. OK. Almost ready to make the custom stairs. We're in it. We're going to say it. We're going to keep going here. Base level 1. That's where we start our stairs, but this time we're going to have an offset. So it goes above level 1 just a little bit. Let's be surgical with this part. 6 feet. And 5/8 of an inch. That's what it should look like. Actually, that's hard to tell. It looks like they have differing things on their steps. It should be 6 inches, 6 5/8 of an inch. Pretty certain of that. That's 6 inches, 6 feet would be like a way too tall, but the book's a little, it shows different things on that right there. Level 3. Top offset 0. Well, take this back. We'll check this again. In a couple spots, it says 6 feet and 5/8 of an inch. And in the picture there on figure 10.62, it says 6 inches and 5/8, 6 5/8 of an inch. So hard for me to tell. That's probably one of the 150 things you got to set right. And you'll see in a minute. So we're going to make our reference planes on our sketch mode here to accurately set this up. Pick reference plane. We're going to do pick line. We're going to set it up exactly like the dimensions on page 535. I'm going to start with this line, and I'm going to go offset of 22 feet here. And the next one, we do 11 feet, 11 inches to this side. The next one, I'm going to do 6 feet right here. The next one, I'm going to do 5 feet, 8 inches, 5/8. Excuse me, 5 feet, 6 inches. Make sure you get these right. This is very critical in how the steps will get laid out. Last one here will be 6 feet. Now, I'm going to offset from here. 5 feet, 8 inches, 5/8, the edge of my floor here. offset off this one. Lastly, 7 feet right here. I found it kind of helpful to drag these down a little. There. The dimensions help too, to dimension them. Should do by line dimension, make sure individual reference is on. This line, just check your work. You can leave these in your sketch mode. That's wrong. So I already found some mistakes. Not necessarily. I just had an extra line, I guess. Should be 11 feet, 11 inches. There we go. Check these ones. Practice your dimensioning too a little. Come on. Okay, 3 clicks. We have our layout. So I hit escape once. We got our layout. We went off into the tangent here, making our layout to draft about. I still have my create stair going on here. My cast in place, crazy custom one I made with hundreds of settings. Desired numbers of risers 41, level 1 base, top, level 3, 6 5/8 inch offset from the base. First, if we go back, click the railing button. This part's easy to miss. Like I said, it's easy to do this now. Do the railing, get it set correct now is much easier than trying to do it later. Treads is fine. Hit OK. Remember, I didn't quite get this wood railing correct. So if you want, we could pick handrail rectangular, and that would be fine too on treads. Hit OK. I won't have the fancy wood railing. That's okay. We're about to create the stairs. So let's do the run button here. And the location line, this is gonna be a little different. We're gonna run center of these stairs. We're gonna pick many points on page 536, 1 through 6, and then 7 and 8. So make sure you go to these exact intersections. Here's my first pick. Second pick. My third pick. My fourth pick. Fifth pick. Sixth pick. Seventh pick up here. And eighth pick at this floor. Interesting. We'll just take that as she goes. And of course, I don't have the right number of stairs. I've never been able to get this part to work fully right. You have to literally get every setting perfect. Otherwise, it won't quite work. But this is good enough for now. We'll hit finish sketch. So my top stair won't reach this floor. It's because in those 100 settings we checked, if you don't have them perfect, likely that's going to happen. So we'll hit X on that. I got it close. If you get it to this level, that's good enough. We'll go back to 3D view 3. This is what it should look like if all these played nicely. Mine will look a little different. If I go to level 1, let's take a look at my camera view. This is finished. Let's turn this off. Let's make a camera view. Go to view, camera, level, let's go to level 1. Level 3 doesn't make sense. Textual, level 1. Give it a second. Now let's make the camera view. This corner looking this way. Click. My stairs are about there. They're not, I was having nothing but issues with the hundreds of settings. I just decided to go with a different railing, whatever. The wood spindle one, I was having trouble. On my first attempt, I got them to work right. On my second attempt here for this video, I was having trouble getting the balusters, the railings to match up. This is close enough. Whatever small setting in my risers, it's not fully hitting my top floor right here exact. So tons of edits to do on these to get them to work just right. They're a little more complex. This should have a gap here. We're going to fill that in a minute with a landing. So pretty close. If you don't get this exact, no big deal. I couldn't even do it on a second attempt here. I've tried to mess with about every setting. That one I got a lot closer, and it's still failing to get the exact amount of risers I told it to, 41. So that in mind, let's leave here. Let's close down my finished one. We'll open it up if we need to later to compare anything. And we're going to add a custom landing to the bottom of the stairwell right here. So we're going to go back to level 1 floor plan on page 537. And I already loaded this, but in case you haven't, load the family, insert load family, landing. In case you haven't, and post up. Make sure those are in if you haven't done already. I've already loaded them, but just make sure I'll say open. They're loaded. We're going to go to the architecture tab now. Place component. Remember, you can start hitting the component here, start searching. Type in landing, because that's what we're going to do. We only got the one. It brings us right to it. We're inserting it. Let's hit spacebar a few times to get it centered. That's looking good. It centers over the middle, as you can see, like this. Let's hit escape twice, select the landing. Let's go into the landing, the family, right into its properties. Let's change the tread and base material to mahogany. Remember, if you spell it right, it'll take it. Instead of having to go, you can go into the ... ellipse, find it here too, double click it. They actually want cherry. So my mistake there. You can go Control C, Control V as well. Let's change its length down here to 6 feet. They're bumped up in size. And there we have it on our landing. That's why we added the little, there it is right there. That's why we added the little gap here from the base. So it would match up well with our stairs riser start. So there we go there. Back to level 1 where we can see it. We're going to add a gooseneck railing to it. So we already added the post up file. If you didn't, go do that now. Insert load family from your project files, this file, open it. Now let's add it. Architecture component. Let's type in post. Post up with gooseneck. And let's just place it somewhere in here. Let's click it, the gooseneck, and let's change the offset from the base. Offset from host. There we go. To 6 5/8 inch. So it'll go up on the landing. Oops. I not like how I did this. There it goes. Get that going. Let's move it into place by selecting it, hitting move. Basically getting the midpoint to the endpoint here, or the midpoint. There we go. Let's take a look at it in 3D. There it is. Gooseneck post. Let's go back to level 3, or excuse me, let's turn off level 3 for now. Level 1. Let's grab it. So we can add the materials to it. We haven't done that. We're still got to do that. And the rail and post material, we're going to say cherry. So I still have it in my clipboard. Copy it in or type it or go find it. The ... ellipsis, cherry. Okay. That's applied. So it's cherry now. Okay. Select it. Let's mirror it. Let's try mirroring about an axis of this line. There we go. Escape. We got those in there. Bottom railings. Keep in mind, my railing's different. I just went with it because I was having trouble getting the perfect wood one and the balusters working together. So I just chose a different one. Continue on. We'll go to level 3. We're going to click one of the railings. So I click the stairs there. Huh. There we go. Kind of got to hover in close. There we got the railing. Right click. Create similar. So we're going to make the railings on page 543 along this edge of the 3rd floor alcove area here. And we're going to say 4 inches. Just bear with me on this. Let's do pick lines, 4 inches to this side, like so. Remember, you know, this is going to be an old hat process for us, but let's repeat the procedure on this side when we're done with the left side. So let's do this side first. Similar to what we've done on the last stairs. We go to the middle here. See, it hovers in the middle of this railing. It found it with that blue line. Oop, I didn't want the offset though. Let's turn that back to 0. Here, let's do a trim. Trim. There. That'll be good enough for this purpose. Bring it to the edge of the facade. You could possibly bring it in. Makes it go into the wall a little bit. Okay. This isn't exactly join, but that's good enough. Let's grab this rail and mirror it about this line to that side. There, it's over here. Edit path. Let's pick the center of the rail and bring it to this facade. And we'll say once again, finish edit. Go back to our 3D camera mode. View that I made. It's also just staying in here. We'll call it third floor custom view. Stairs. So got the railing going up there. That ends that area for now. Toughest area in the book so far, and getting all those settings to get this to go exactly perfect. I've got almost everything to work except for this, attaching it accurately with the right amount of treads. So if you get that, kudos to you. That, go back to level 1. We're going to go back to the east part of the building and start wrapping this chapter up. And we'll go to this area. We're going to go to level 1, which we're on, and we're going to flip this section view by selecting it here on the bar, flipping it here. I'm going to open it, double clicking the bubble. There we go. I'm on to level 1 here. I'm going to do some custom rail edits to the top of the rail. And we flip the view so it's looking at the correct direction, which is this way into this rail. So it's looking this way. We'll go back to the section view. Now hover over the top rail. This is kind of weird, but go slow, hover on it, start hitting the tab button. And select that top rail once it has it. Still hit the tab button, get more, but you want to see this icon. So we have this rail selected now. You'll see this is a new command, continuous rail. We want to edit just this rail that we selected, right? So it just grabs this rail in the section view. And we're going to zoom way in here. We're going to say, edit path. I'm going to say line. I'm going to draw a diagonal with this 1 foot. It's perpendicular to that. Yeah, that's fine for now. Let's go to figure 10.77. Continue our sketching. This is still selected. We go down 11 inches. Oop, I went 11 feet. 11 inches, double quotes, and over 10.25 inch. Make sure you get that inch symbol. Oh, didn't take. There it took. Okay, we got a preview on. Oh, that doesn't look right. Let's hit cancel there. Edit to the wrong side. Let's try edit path. Draw a line. Interesting. Let's try one last thing. We'll skip this area. So it's probably because I grabbed the wrong rail. Let's hover in here again. I have this icon, edit rail. Yeah, it's not really letting me grab the line I want. I grab right here. Let's try this. Works a little better, I guess. Goes in the right plane when I started my line right here instead of here. Let's continue on. 10, 1/4 inch. Enter. Didn't take again. Frustrating. 1 foot. Shut up. There we go. 11 inches. Let's just make this go to the face here. No luck on this. I got it to work before with no problem. It's possible it's because I'm grabbing something wrong here, but it doesn't seem like it. It seems like I'm grabbing. Possibly here, we could try this. Let's cancel this. Let's check our section view to only go this deep, to only show one of the rails. That could be an issue. The section view, so it only goes this deep. Go into the section view again. Don't think this is going to help. We'll try. Tab, we're selecting the one rail, I think. It's on, reset. Let's go edit rail. Here we go. Maybe this is it. Circular handrail, 1 1/2 inch. There we go. I think that's what did it. I was trying to change the rail. Get that selected. Found that. Edit path. Line. Start here again on the top this time. Keep it collinear. 1 foot. 11 inches. Should be able to just go to that, but let's type in 10 1/4 of an inch. Good God. Okay. I think I'm skipping a step, so let's just draw this 1 foot. Let's hit OK on that. OK again. I made it this time. I just did one step. Let's look at it in this view. Entry stairs. Remember that view from the beginning. There, I extended it. A little bit right there, you can see. Let's hover on it again. Tab button. Select it. Select edit rail. Edit path. Go to edit rail joins. This is a new command. It seemed to work better when I just drafted it like that. And there we go. Awkward commands, but seem to work. I got my butted end I made there. It's the finished railing. So we're going to edit this same one. But we're going to skip that part. That essentially showed us enough of what we need to know for editing a custom rail shape. Very specific, making it how we want. Okay. We're going to end the chapter by adding some ramps over here to this corner. We're going to first add a floor to this area. And we're going to make a flat kind of concrete floor here. So let me check my options. Go to the architecture tab, floor. And we're going to take whatever we got with the generic 12-inch filled first. We're going to edit that type, duplicate it. We're going to call it our exterior concrete slab. Go into the edit structure, this one, and the structure one middle area we're going to call, we'll hit OK here. Never mind. We'll go into here. I forgot to add this. Start typing in concrete. Let's see, concrete cast in place grade. And it's going to be 6-inch thickness. So it's 6 inches. Okay. Hit OK again. Ready to place the concrete sketch, basically this whole perimeter on page 549. Let's go to town on that by doing the pick line. It looks like it's a foot off of the grid lines here and here. So I'm going to say pick line. I'm going to say offset 1 foot. This, go with this. Oh, wrong side. Want it on this side. Hit escape. Let's delete. Z, hit escape twice. Delete that. There we go. Let's trim. Trim what we want to keep. Let's have it go to the inner of the facade here. We'll say pick wall. That didn't quite work how we wanted. We'll hit Z, Control Z a couple times. We'll just say pick line. Pick this line, inner facade. Move it here to intersection. We'll do the same with this. Pick line again. Move some grips. And we got 2 trims left to do. Here. Pick what we want. Don't pick what you want to cut out. There we go. There's our slab perimeter. And let's say finish edit mode. And in this case, let's say no to this prompt. I don't want the walls to go up to this floor's level to attach to the bottom. Kind of curious what my 3D view will look like. It didn't look quite the way I wanted to the last time I did this. This one's looking good. Okay, we're seeing my whole subterranean level. That's looking good. Let's close this view from our custom rail. Let's close this section at stairs, primarily concerned with level 1 in this 3D view. Let's add a ramp. This is a little bit of a wonky step 2. It's a lot easier than the last custom stairs we did, but has really particular on how you pick. So we'll try to go through that part slow. We're going to build a ramp here. New command. So it's up here in the architecture tab and ramp. Let's check our options. First, we're going to go with this. There's not much to choose from. We're at ramp 1 and 2. We're going to say edit, our old classic duplicate. We'll call it exterior concrete ramp. Say okay. Before I go further, I'll check my options. 6 inches. The function of the ramp is an exterior ramp. Ramp material, concrete cast in place again. A little hard to type that in all the way. So we'll go to the ... double click. Hit OK. It's saying, I'll go back into this ramp we just made. It's saying, mind you, on the maximum incline length, this is the maximum amount of feet it allows us to do. We can reset that. That's ADA standard, kind of 30 feet. Generally, a certain amount of feet between each landing. This is our max slope, 1 inch over 12 inches, set to 12. In the civil engineering world, that's about 8.3% slope. That's your max ADA ramp slope for wheelchairs and ADA regulations, basically. In the architectural world, structural world, it's 1 over 12 pitch. Say okay. And we'll continue by saying this ramp is going to have a width of 5. We're going to say the top level is base level is 1. Set base level offset though to -2 space 6 inches, 2 feet 6 inches. Top level is 1. Level 1. No offsets. I think we're good to go on all of our options on page 551. We're going to draw with the run command, similar to stairs. It doesn't let you snap to anything, which is weird. Must be some glitch on this command. So let's just get close to center. We'll move that later. And this is when you kind of got to strategically select. So let's see if I can remember this. It's very particular. So move our cursor down the south direction here, 15 feet. So we get a temporary dimension of 15 feet, like that. And I'm not sure it wants me to pick here yet. So let's just do it. So I got that 15 feet. So hover over here. This is the tricky part. Don't hover in the center here. We picked, it's set, the 15 feet. I haven't clicked anything again yet, but I'm hovering over here. Guess about 6 feet. You can't really tell. That's what's really weird about this. So it says 15 feet of incline ramp created, 15 feet remaining allowed. That's on there. You can see it in gray. This is the second point. I'm going to guesstimate. This is about 6 feet. It should make it automatically. Let's pick here. And over here, I'm going to type in, well, or just drag to 15 feet. There we go. Close enough. And at this point, same thing here. It's easier to do the railing right now. We're going to do handrail pipe. Hit OK. And we're going to finish the edit mode. So the ramp is sloping in the wrong direction, actually. Click this, we fix that by flipping this. Now it's going in this downward direction. I don't know what it's saying about rail not continuous. I don't really care at this point. But we flipped the rail in the right direction. So if I click that, you can flip it back. Flip it back again. Oops. There we go. This way's down. Let's select the ramp. Getting somewhere on the face of it. Make sure face command's selected. We're going to go to architecture, railing. And we're going to go to handrail pipe. Click OK. We're drawing the railing over here, basically. So let's do a 6-inch. Pick line from the slab edge. Let's go this way. Drawing the railing up here. And we're going to draw the one on the left-hand side first. So let me draw another line here. Center of the rail right here, or endpoint up. I can just go like this. Still need to trim though, either way. Keep what I want. I got the railing. Let's do one last edit. Move it to the facade of the building on my ramp railing. Finish edit, accept that. Let's look at it 3D quick. This is what we got going. Let's take the same ramp, mirror it. I hovered in the ramp, it found a center line. Boom. So this one, I could edit more railing up here. Let me pick just this railing, say edit path. Let's get this railing on this side. Say pick line. We'll do a 6-inch offset from the slab edge again to this side. Let's edit our sketch, trim it back. That's, I guess we'll bring it to the facade. Finish edits. We got a railing, and that is pretty much the end of the chapter. There's one last thing. We could do it in 3D mode if we had a mirror plane, which I don't think we do. We're going to bring that whole ramp structure over to this side of the building by mirroring it. Okay, so level 1. Let's just grab everything that's rail and ramp related. Should have about 9 things selected. Have it selected. Mirror, pick access. Let's pick the middle reference plane that we've been using all the time. Don't worry about this error. It's just a minor error about the rail having a sharp corner. 3D, this is the end right here. There's our downhill ramps in the exterior east side of the building. We'll see you for chapter 11.